Christ.
I'm going to take a nap now.
Ew. The most disgusting guest I've ever had. But the funniest.
All this waiting made me tired.
No, I take that back. I gave a little too much credit to my friend Billy. He's a disgusting human being. But I love him.
Who's the worst guest you had?
No, I've never had a worse guest.
26 episodes? Is that what we're doing?
What number is this?
26.
This is 26?
Oh, it could have been number 27. It would have been perfect.
Why?
27's a good number. In the movie, we do part...
Are we recording?
A part 2 and 7 mashup. 2, 7, 2, 7.
In your movie?
Yeah, 2 and 7 mixed up.
Right? You want to like mash up? You see,
Sackhead and part 7 body. Right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that Jason and this.
And then at the very end of the movie, when we see the therapist, it says 27 hours earlier.
Yeah, that's right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Millennial Stoner. I am the Millennial Stoner. My name is Joe Winchell. I say that every episode. I hate it, but I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it because I'm stubborn and I'm unoriginal. I have a very special guest today. I have a dude who I've known for a little while, and I got to be in a movie. He's a director and a Friday the 13th aficionado.
Is this a yes? You want to live with me?
Yeah, on 3 conditions, though.
Okay, such as?
Well, first off, if it's a Long Island house, it has to be a house that has a front porch.
Okay.
The wraparound porch could be optional.
Am I really?
I don't know. I wanted to give you another subtitle other than Bobby, the dude I know.
Bobby, the dude I know. I think we've known each other.
I met you
almost 20 years ago. No.
No.
15?
No. It was like 10.
No.
It's like 10. When did I first meet you? I smoke a lot of weed. I don't know. I'm sorry. When did I first meet you? I met you through Sibel?
Maybe?
Years back?
It wasn't like when she did the play and everything.
Maybe.
No.
Did you come to one that I was in?
Yeah, the young Frank, the 80s John Hughes.
Yeah, that was me. I didn't write. I helped put that script together. That was called what the fuck was that called?
Journey Through the 80s.
No, it was something like it's called The Projectioner's Night Off.
The Peppercorns.
Yeah, my friend
reinvention.
Yeah, it was a character my friend invented for it called Peppercorn Montgomery.
Right.
And the whole the original idea was that he was like the dude that was always like just kind of in the background of every major film moment.
Right.
And he's just kind of like a snob about it, but he's like had like a C-list career.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was supposed to host the whole thing, but it never really materialized like that.
Yeah. I guess we first met on the very first podcast.
But that was about 10, 12 years ago.
The Jerry Horrors podcast. Yeah. I think that was the first time, like, me and
we
you
went through all of the Friday the 13th.
And we were like, and I could tell I connected with you the most.
I love those movies,
I love Jerry and everything.
Oh, I love Jerry Horrors.
But we were just going off about Friday the 13th movies. And then even afterwards, we kept geeking out about other horror stuff.
Well, yeah, because it was one of my favorite genres. You know, like I was one of those kids that like was scared of them, and then like I had cousins that like my first horror movie that they forced me to watch was Leprechaun, which is
I want me gold.
Yeah, it's a weird ass movie. I still have like a really fond attachment to that film because like it used to scare the piss out of me.
Really?
Yeah, it used because I was a little kid. I was like 10.
It's a horror comedy.
I know. It was only scary to me at the time. Okay.
You know which one scares me?
Which one?
Leprechaun in Space.
Oh, I've seen that one the least. The script scared me to work on. I don't know. But yeah, it was the first one I ever saw. But it's my favorite genre because like. I also was fortunate enough to grow up in like the 2000s era, so like Scream and like horror came back.
How old are you? I always feel like we're the same age.
35, dude.
35.
How old are you? 50?
You're actually 11 years younger than me?
Yeah, dude.
I'm 46.
Yeah, dude, I didn't grow up in the 80s. I grew up in the 90s. It says millennials. The name of the show is called Millennial Stoner because I'm a millennial.
No, I'm sorry.
It's not Gen X Duber or something.
First off, happy October.
Oh, yeah, it's happy October.
But I also want to say I'm not a millennial and I'm not a stoner and I've never been stoned.
No, it's fine. No, the idea is everybody's always like, we have to talk about weed in the show, and I'm like, no. the whole premise of
We
it
could
is
talk the lack of weed I've done.
I like to get high and to have conversations. So that's the whole point.
So this
of
is
the
going to
show.
be like all over the place. You're going to forget everything I tell you by the end of the conversation.
I would just be called ADHD, the podcast, which I would be ruler of. No, I mean I know what we were going to talk about coming into this because I love horror movies and it's October and shit.
And I haven't talked.
What was the first one you remember? What was the first one you remember seeing?
Well, I will get to that,
Yeah.
but I want to say that October is never long enough. Like
Fall.
I can't believe it's like the 20th already, October 20th, and it's like, where to go? Like I want every day of October to last forever, so I have enough movies to rewatch.
Yeah.
And
You can always watch Silent Night, Deadly Night, and fucking on
it's
Christmas.
one of the best.
I know. There's a lot of Christmas horror films. That's what always balances me out.
I think the first.
What was the first horror movie you remember seeing?
Oh man, it's probably. It might be like Halloween.
The first one?
When it first aired on WPIX.
Oh,
Channel
the
11 here.
afternoon movie.
No, it was at night.
Oh, it was a night movie?
But
Okay.
but I want to say I started seeing horror movies before that. I think Night of the Living Dead was one of them. I saw like late at night or something on one of the
Public access channels.
public access channels. Yeah.
Because that movie was always on public access.
That's the first movie, Night of the Living Dead, that made me feel uneasy. I think like
Like,
it's
this
not because-
creeps me
it's-
out.
and it's not. It had nothing to do with like I was fascinated by the zombie thing and everything, but it was like just how the movie ends was just like
It's creepy. Where he
Yo.
just kind of gets away.
yeah. Well, and the main character.
I'm sorry, I was thinking about Halloween. No, No, Night of the Living Dead has a horrifying ending. It ends so bleakly.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, everything doesn't always have a happy ending at the end of a movie.
You know, it was
I'm
the
like,
first
this is
time I
uneasy.
remember seeing that was I remember like renting the remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
The 78.
The one with Donald
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sutherland. And at the ending where it's like, yeah, that stuck with me for fucking when he fucking sees her and she's like, oh, you got away too. Like the world is over. Like, but
Yeah.
we at least we're okay. And he just points at her and does that horrifying look on his face.
Yeah.
And it like haunted me I used to see Donald Sutherland's face in my fucking nightmares because it was like the scare and he made that awful sound. But like, yeah, I remember thinking like the same thing. I'm like, wow, I guess everything doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And then I started watching more of these films where just every character would just die and hell would raise or some shit.
I mean,
I
but
would rent them. I would rent stacks of them.
the first movie that creeped me out, I think, because I was just always fascinated by horror movies and like how they're shot and atmosphere and suspense and like how they made you feel.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, growing up in the 80s, being a special effects.
It was also the
Hound.
heyday for a lot of horror stuff.
Yeah, for gore and special
Yeah.
effects and everything like that. So I was also fascinated on how they did that.
Yeah.
And all Tom Savini and all that stuff.
The master of horror effects.
Yeah, so
So
I was
that's
always
kind of-
fascinated by all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I guess the first movie that really like got under my skin was The Shining.
That's one of my
Those
favorites.
two girls in the hallway, I can't take it. I guess
It's for me. It was always the fucking bear in the hallway. I wanted to
that's
get
doing some weird sex.
Dude, I
thing,
wanted to get a
like-
tattoo of that shit at one point. I was
Do it,
like,
do it.
I have a Shining tattoo. I have a Jack Nicholson Overlook Hotel tattoo on my arm.
yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen
it's
it.
one of my favorites. But it is that's one that I'm even to this day. I watch that and I'm like, God damn, it still creeps me out. I can watch it. Like I can't watch it on a loop. but
I literally like curse at the TV when the shot of the kid going down the hallway and then they just flash those two girls in the hallway
and they're just dead.
and yeah, that and I'm just like, fuck you.
Yeah, it always creeps you out.
creeps me out.
Did you ever see the documentary they made about just the film called Room 347 or something like that?
Yeah.
It's creepy. There's some ridiculous stuff
It's
in
really
it.
ridiculous.
But there's also like some
they're
really cool,
reaching in a lot of it.
they did some really cool stuff in it too, though. Like I wanted to go see that fucking. They would play the movie forwards and backwards at the same time.
Yeah.
I was like, that's cool. I'm a weirdo. I'm like, I'll go see that shit. I'll go drop acid and go. Let's go drop acid and go see fucking. Let's go
Watch The Shining.
Let's go take shrooms and watch The Shining's forward and backwards.
and sideways.
That would be I would be
and
convincing.
let's sit sideways in the seat.
Oh
and watch it
yeah.
like that.
Oh man. But yeah, I Shining and stuff like when I have a fondness for 80s films as well, because when I was a kid, there was the 90s. There was a lot of video stuff, but unless your video store carried that shit, there was really no way to watch it. You know what I mean? People always say there was no good horror. There's actually some really cool stuff that came out in the 90s.
Yeah.
Castle Freak being one of them.
Castle Freak.
I know we're going deep cuts on this one, everybody. Enjoy. Look all these movies up as we say them.
Castle Freak is great.
Yeah, but like, there wasn't anything really being released in the theaters. It was all like fucking like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and shit like that.
Right.
Which is, I love that shit too. I love movies, but like, there was no horror. Like, you had to go to the. So I went and I rented all the old stuff I could find, like Chopping Mall and everything like that.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely
Purely based on the cover, by the way. Purely based on the
Chopping
cover.
Mall's amazing.
You know, that's how I saw every Friday.
And there's no chopping in it.
No, it's a lot of vaporization.
Yeah.
You vaporized.
It's a bunch of robots shooting lasers.
Chopping Mall, go check it out, everybody. If you need if you need like weird movies to watch tonight.
That's all this is, a recommendation show now.
No.
Millennial Stoners.
No, I'm steering you into something. I know how to conduct an interview, sir.
Well, obviously it's going to steer into Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
But what was...
But that's actually, that's one of the reasons I rented Friday the 13th, because of the cover. Because I was like, it's a really cool cover. And
Friday
Friday
the 13th
was
the first one?
No, not the first one, because that actually wasn't the first one I ever saw.
Right. Like a lot of people that grew up in the 80s and 90s and 2000s.
What was your...
It's never... Part one is never the first one we see.
No, exactly.
When I was a kid, the first one I saw, I think, was part 2 or 3.
Well, sequels were different back then. You didn't really have to, especially in the genre, genre for, and they didn't. Not everything's interconnected the way it is now. If you saw the third one, it was fine.
Yeah,
because then you could go back and watch the first two.
That's exactly what happened to me.
Nobody is like, you saw Friday the 13th Part 4, not 1.
Yeah, well, 4
How
has
will you understand the complex story they're trying to weave?
4 has a great recap of the first 3, so it's like you don't.
That's what it is. They also recapped every movie in like 30 seconds beforehand. My favorite is 7. 7 starts with the voiceover. He's like, "There's a legend round here, a killer buried but not dead," and it just recaps like every movie.
Crazy Ralph.
Yeah,
it's the guy who plays Crazy Ralph. Walt Gorney.
But like, I love those movies, and I remember the first one I watched. I didn't rent it actually. I was my favorite. Still to this day, one of my favorite things. I wish they would fucking release the old episodes. Is Monster Vision, TNT, Joe Bob Briggs.
Yeah,
I watched that all the time. Like when that was
I didn't really watch that.
I did.
I started watching the new Joe Bob stuff.
I watched that too.
I really enjoy it.
I love it. The old stuff. Like I remember because he would have like. He showed They Live, and he had Roddy Piper on, and I'm a kid who likes wrestling and horror movies. Right. This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. But he would show all these movies, and he would show a lot of the Friday the 13th ones, and one of them was, the first one I saw was, he's doing a marathon, and I didn't know about it, so I came in on part 6. Oh. And I love part 6.
That was one of my, it's my 4 and 6 are my top 2. I could watch those 2 movies every day.
Yeah, I haven't seen 6 in a while.
Oh, 6 is great. 6 was my favorite growing up.
4 was the one that freaked me out the first time. I thought 4 to me was like really, really, really good. Like,
rest in peace, Ted White.
Oh yeah, that dude just died.
He just died.
Ted White, the Jason in that movie, just died
a couple of days ago.
But I talk about all this Friday the 13th stuff.
He died. Ted White from Final Chapter died the same day Halloween Ends was released.
How does that?
So it's like final,
how does that correlate with
final
him?
and end, final end, final end, final. Oh, sorry.
Cut that from the episode, Chris. Anyway, I asked you all this Friday the 13th stuff because you have in fact written and directed and made, which you can go watch now. Yes. Friday the 13th. We were talking about this. You don't like the term fan film.
It's not that I don't like it. I'm just tired of seeing it attached to every fan film that comes out.
Well, there's so many.
It's like, Friday the 13th fan film. And I'm like, I'm just sick of looking at fan film.
Yeah.
Like,
so you went with tribute.
So I'm like, well, it's more of a... I was trying to think of another word for it. And tribute, I think, is the best because it's like I'm trying to pay tribute to all the Friday the 13th movies. Like in little, Easter eggs here and there.
Yeah.
Little pieces of, So I'm like, you know what? Tribute is more fitting.
So this is a movie called Victim No More.
Yes.
Great poster.
Thank you.
If you ever run
paying tribute to the part 1 and 2, mainly part 2.
Well, part 2 had the hatchet. Part
hatchet.
1 was the knife.
Yeah.
I like it though. I like the bow and arrow. It's a really cool
And
poster.
if you watch the film, you'll find out that body isn't really Jason.
Dude, don't spoil it.
Oh, sorry. But that bow and arrow does come into play.
Yeah, so Bobby's made this fan film. I'm in it.
Are you?
Yeah, I am. I'm in it.
Who are you in it?
I play a fucking stupid boyfriend. I play a stupid boyfriend who's with a very lovely and very cool co-star, Deanna. What's her last name?
Naja.
Naja.
Yeah.
Shout out! I will absolutely try to get her on the show. She was really a lot of fun to work with. This was a great time.
Yeah.
Why Friday the 13th fan film? Had you always been thinking about making a Friday? Because you're a fan of horror, as we just discussed. You know, we've talked about Night of the Creeps before and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, what made you settle on, is Friday the 13th your favorite? Whatever it may be, why Friday the 13th for a fan film?
Friday the 13th.
Tribute film, excuse me.
What you could say fan film. It's the same thing.
That's so much more, though.
It's so much more.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th franchise has always been my favorite. So
That's your, like, out of all of them?
out of everything, Friday the 13th is it.
Okay.
I will
Dude,
live
it's
and
up there.
die
I
Friday the 13th. I love it.
I try not to hang my hat on like being like identifying myself by one thing, but I truly do love the series as
Yeah,
well.
me too.
You probably are the bigger fanatic. You've made the movie, so I think you win the fanatic competition.
Oh, thanks.
But like,
that doesn't mean anything.
No, it
You can
does.
still be the biggest fan.
because it's but I own all the films still. But
It's also trying to stay true to like the things that you grew up with, the Friday the 13th movies that you grew up with, and staying true to like the feel and the type of characters that are in those movies. Like,
Yeah.
I was trying to like hit on that a little bit, but
Well, there's a lot of. I have some dialogue in the movie that references the movies, and like in a deep cut kind of way.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about Part 6 earlier. I make a reference to Forest Green, which
yeah.
was the name of renamed the camp in Crystal Lake in the movie. They renamed it that.
Packanack, which
Yeah.
Part 2. And
So Bobby's made this sort of deep cut movie in some way. So like, were you writing the script
deep
for?
cuts.
Were you
That's one of your lines in the movie
Yeah,
too.
deep cut. I
Deep
think
cuts, babe.
Didn't I
When
make
you're
that
talking about
up?
Harry Potter.
Did I make that up?
No, it's in the script.
Damn it! Give me some credit.
Well, no, you made up some things.
Yeah, that you cut it. Die alone. That was the.
Dude, I wish people could. Well, you will get to see that.
Yeah.
I put it. It's
Is
gonna
there
be on
is there a way people could get a physical copy of this or anything
On
like
the
that? We'll talk
Blu-ray?
about that in the end. We'll talk
Yeah,
about that
we'll
in the
talk
end. But so when
But
you,
Friday the 13th is.
so it's your favorite.
It's my favorite. And when I decided I wanted to make a movie, what it was is
And
I
you had just
saw
some-
a couple of like really well made fan films, and I was like, oh well, with the people that I know, and like Sean, great cinematographer,
Sean King, shout out. He's a cinematographer that we know.
the cameos that I can get in the movie that it could help
You got some
out
good
and
cameos.
everything.
I was very shocked.
So I just really want. I figured, you know what? In order to get, I had to do a Friday 13th.
So that's
film.
so you
If
like
there's one movie I'm going to make, and even if I don't do another movie ever again,
yeah.
it will be a Friday 13th.
Well, you had
film.
done
So
some
I said, let me
shorts
do this.
beforehand. You had it's not like you had this was your first thing you directed. You had done some
No,
shorts.
I've directed a few things. About,
Yeah, you had- this
about
wasn't the-
15 years ago.
but you had some experience doing it, and plus all you do is hang out with film nerds anyway. So
So
God
who-
bless
who
them.
better?
I love them.
So
This was the movie that you said if I'm ever going to make something, this is what I'm going to make.
if it's the one and only thing I ever do.
I like,
So-
yeah, it's sort of man, you made the movie. I know a lot of people that sit around, I'd make this movie. And I'm like, I know guys that make movies.
Yeah.
you
Oh
know?
yeah. Well,
and it's really because you can always
every
say
one of
that.
our friends is a filmmaker of some sort.
Oh, yeah, pretty much, man. So did you, when you were coming up for the idea for this, because you have a sort of we won't spoil it too much, but
I mean, it's spoiled all over the internet. But if you
Whatever.
if you want people to,
don't you want people to watch your fucking movie?
Yeah, go on go on YouTube and watch Victim no More. You
go
got
on-
40 minutes,
Yeah, it's only 40. Yeah, it's only 40 minutes too.
but it'll feel like you're watching a feer length movie.
I'm
Maybe.
glad you didn't say it feels like a lifetime.
It
Anyway.
feels like a lifetime.
So you're writing this script. What was this? How many iterations did it go through? Or was this the concept you had from get go? The sort of the
I think it was the first thought I had. Like I'm
You
gonna
want to
make a
explain
Friday
a little
13th.
bit? Yeah, the idea that behind the movie.
Yeah, the first thought I had, all right, I'm gonna make a fan film.
Go ahead. Yeah.
And I mean, I think it was the first idea I had. Let me think about this for a second. Okay, that's enough. that's enough dead air.
I went 2 seconds, and I'm like, I'm going to start talking.
We're done.
This isn't inside the actor studio, man.
No, it was the first thought I had where, like, I was thinking, I'm like, oh, how would this affect, like, the children of, like, a final girl? You know, like, a child of a final girl who might have, like, lived in a situation where the mother is, like, super overprotective and, like, won't let the kid do anything because she's afraid, like, you know, her family might go through the same, like, horrible experience. And, like a really sheltered kid.
Yeah.
Like, what would that be like?
Yeah.
And then what would it be like if that kid was just like, all right, I had enough. Like, mom, dad, whoever, you know, went through the trauma, like, I'm going to prove to you that Jason doesn't exist anymore, so you could let me be my own man and, like, be free of this.
So it's sort of a story about how traumas can affect, like, it's not passed
like
down.
multi-generational.
Like, trauma can affect generational things.
Yeah, I mean,
Which, that's sort of...
anybody that's went through trauma, like, it affects their lives so personally on a daily basis that, like, it's got to affect their family too. You know? Like,
that's a big thing.
They're a close family.
That's a thing I'm noticing in horror. They sort of did that with the new Halloween movies too.
They did, and I kind of appreciated that. I was like, oh my god, they're showing, like, how, like, a town can turn somebody evil, like a trauma that happened, like, he just led onto a path of evil.
Yeah,
it's just like, oh my god, like, that's, you know, it's just funny that they.
Yeah.
Well, it's not funny.
No, it's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Well, no, there's some things in Halloween. I like Halloween Kills, but there's some, the Evil Dies Tonight stuff. I was like, oh man.
Yeah. Tonally, that was,
I was like,
a little crazy.
Come on.
I'll say it right now. I enjoyed Halloween Ends.
Oh, absolutely. I did too.
Because of how unexpected
but there's
it was.
a literal moment in that movie where I'm like, did you not realize this was funny and you kept this in the movie? It's where fucking, what's his name? Tommy Doyle. It's where he's like, I'm going to go. And then he falls. And it's so fucking funny. He falls.
In Halloween Kills?
In Halloween Kills. And he, like, falls and he stands up and like this, he goes, Evil Dies Tonight. And then he runs out like a fucking idiot. Like, I'm like, and I watched that and I'm like, no one's gonna fucking take this seriously. But the concept, I always said,
it was, like, super melodramatic. And
it was super.
At times,
well, they meet up and he goes on an open mic and he's like, I'm going to tell you the story of murder. It's crazy. And then he's just
like, is it a joke or are you actually traumatized by this?
I would have loved if there was, like, one person in the audience being like, this is funny. Like, you don't get this dark humor? Like,
I liked all the Michael stuff in that movie.
I thought the through line, I liked like I said, some of it was ridiculous, but again, I'll take ridiculousness if the concept, I think, is solid. Mm-hmm. And the idea that, especially because we live in, like, a serial killer true crime culture in a lot of ways, and everything like that is a big thing on true crime. And I think there was an attempt with those movies to try to make them fucking more realistic.
Right.
The idea, like, I liked that first Halloween remake that they kind of go into, like, it's podcasters going to interview, which everybody listens to a true crime podcast.
And it's funny, and with our movie, Victim No More, you and Deanna, you're kind of like,
those are the characters. That's what
it's almost in a way, like, I didn't.
You wrote them like people that exist now,
right?
Yeah.
And I didn't really. I guess I didn't really think. I kind of wrote it at first as like, oh, the boyfriend wants to go to Camp Crystal Lake on this day and kind of like see if he could find any, like, you know, you just go to the location because of all the horrible things that happen. You know, he was just interested.
But that's what people do.
And then the girlfriend just kind of, like, tagged along.
Yeah.
But it did seem like they were both, like,
it's the most
because, like,
realistic
people are
thing.
obsessed with true crime.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, and you're showing off your
thing.
You're showing off your knowledge to your girlfriend about, like, what you know about it and blah blah blah. And she's kind of correcting you, even though she doesn't really care.
She just happens. No, she knows it by proxy.
Yeah, exactly.
Because she's dating me, and she's just like, I've seen so much of this garbage. I know everything about it.
And I love how, like, not creeped out you guys are when you approach the cabins.
No,
in the movie.
because
it's like, you're like, this is awesome. Check this out.
Yeah.
Like, this place hasn't been touched in 40 years. It's so cool.
Which I think
that's
is neat.
exactly how
people would react.
People would react
because it's not.
They wouldn't be creeped out.
Because people used to fear going to haunted houses. Not people want to go to haunted houses. You know what I mean? Like that was the idea was to be like a successful haunted house should be a place that no one wants to go to. But that's what they want to go to the Ted Bundy fucking grave or whatever the fuck like that. You know what I I mean? Or or Ed Gein, rather, whatever the fuck like that. People are fascinated by this, and that's why those characters in your movie, my character and Deanna's character, are like pretty realistic in the fact that I know people. Plus, man, you've been.
I think you guys are super likable.
You've been to horror conventions
instead of being an asshole to each other.
Yeah, but that's the prototypical thing, right?
Yeah, I got really. That's another thing I wanted to write into the script. Was like, ugh, I'm tired of like a group of friends that sometimes don't even seem like a group of friends that would hang out with each other.
Yeah.
And they're all like, shut the fuck up. They're all like cursing at each other. I'm like, is this what you do with your friends? Like,
some of them are so fucking mean to each other.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. I'm
but
like,
it's just
so,
like,
or they're like, they're
why are you-
banging each other's girlfriends or something. I'm just like,
it's like, why are you friends with Ted? Ted
why are you
sucks.
friends with these people? Yeah.
That's one of my favorite.
But Teddy and Jimbo actually seem like friends from part 4. You know, like they,
Yeah, well, that was the benefit of part 4. Those kids seemed like they hung out.
Yeah.
But there's like a million other instances where it's just like, you have to just get one of every type. And it's like, that doesn't work like that.
No.
Because nobody's ever... You hang out with people that are similar than you. A football player is not going to hang out with a fucking computer person in 1985.
Exactly.
In 1985.
Well, at least part 4, like, yeah, they all seemed like they could be friends. And is like the one an experienced girl, and then the one that does have experience, and like she's kind of like
the Doublemint twins.
Yeah, no, not them. Well, they're just the two randoms that came into the fold.
Yeah,
but yeah,
But I think that's what you did with your movie with those characters and everything.
Try to make them a little likable, and if you don't like them, then okay, it doesn't work for you. But I like them. Like when we were filming.
Yeah.
I mean, right off the bat, when you see these two characters, you know they're gonna die. They're set up as
we're set up like that.
Yeah. Like you and your girlfriend are just like, all right, they're gonna
Cannon
die.
Fodder.
But by the time we came to that point where we had to off you, like, remember when we were shooting? I was just like, oh man,
don't mind him. He does this all the time.
Oh, okay.
He's just adjusting stuff. Yeah, he's fine.
When it came to that point to kill you off, I was just like, I'm sad. Because it's like, that's it for these characters.
I gotta go work with all these other losers.
I don't remember. Did we shoot anything?
No. I did some ADR with you after that.
So when we killed you, that was it.
Yeah, that was we had to, remember? Because I shot 3 days. We'll talk a little stories from this. I shot 3 days with you, remember? Like all together. And one was at a different location. Right. No, was it 3 days or 2?
I think it was 3 days.
It was 3 days.
We shot half of the scene.
I came back to Riverhead.
Right.
I think. Doesn't matter. None of this matters. Because the first day I was there...
It was actually 4 days.
It was 4 days, that's right. But it was spread out over a month.
We shot half a scene. You and Deanna shot half of a scene.
We didn't shoot anything that day. We shot a quarter of a scene.
Well, whatever scene her brother character was in, we shot that part. Because he can only be there that one day.
Yeah, that's right. We did the very end.
Which was day 2, the worst day of shooting.
The worst day of shooting that I was there. I remember sitting there with Deanna.
And then you came back and you and Deanna shot all the walking and talking stuff.
When we were doing all the lines about the porches and everything like that? Yeah, that's right.
Porches
that was the second day.
And stuff like that. All that. And then we shot your death scenes, cabin day. And then you came back to shoot more.
Yeah, the thing about...
So 4 days.
The thing about that...
You and Deanna.
Yeah, so I think the first day was I was there on the worst day, which I remember talking to Deanna, and she was just like, "Do you think they're going to?"
You guys were just sitting around.
I knew though. I knew. I'm well aware. I've been on in and off movie sets and done small little indie films before. It's and I'm talent. Nobody gives a fuck about. I hate people. I have to like sometimes I like run into like younger actors and everything like that, and like I'll just chat them up or whatever like that, and they'll be in college or some shit, and they're like. I have to explain to them, like, do you know what it really means to, like, make a movie, like, as an actor? You know what I mean? You're not making shit. You know, you do, you wear with
Hurry up, get there, and wait around.
Yeah, and wait around because, and then when you're in front of the camera, you're going to wait more. Because
that's it. Well, especially if you have a cinematographer that like, cares about lighting.
Like Sean does.
Like Sean does. Yeah. Sean's amazing. And, to put care into each and every shot, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a 12 to 16-hour day,
It's a long process and everything like that. And
I learned my lesson. Yeah. Because you learn everything, so...
Yeah, there's nothing like field experience.
Yeah, exactly. I learned my lesson with special effects. Where
Yeah,
like,
that was why we were behind that day, right?
If you have any kind of special effects, even if it's like a special effect that's on screen for 1 minute, make it its own day, because that takes a long time.
Yeah.
If it's like a intricate, effect.
Yeah.
So we fell behind. We had to like
It was fine.
reschedule another day to shoot the rest of that scene.
Yeah. But I mean,
It turned out great.
And then the day of there's a question I wanted to ask you. As it comes to the deaths, did you have like ideas for the deaths? Because it's Friday the 13th. Everybody's expecting, I got a very original death and everything. So what was
You have the most original death, of
I we're not
film.
care about spoilers. You got stabbed in the eye with a rib.
of a ribeye.
I got a rib
ribeye.
eye. And man, I shot that thing. I was holding that thing so close to my fucking eyeball.
It was great. Spoilers.
It's fine. I was fine, but I was freaking everybody out because I had control of it. It was just me holding it. And I was just like,
yeah. And you touched your eyeball.
Yeah, it was fine.
With the fake rib.
I'm fine.
But
anyway, I'm fine. That's good.
I wanted a couple of because it's paying tribute to Friday the 13th movies.
Yeah.
Like deaths that you have seen in the past movies, kind of do that. But also, I wanted to put like an idea for this kill that I've had for like 21 years.
Was that mine?
And that was your death.
Ah.
Your death has been in my head for 21 years. I wrote it into
Sound like an ex-girlfriend of mine.
I put it in a treatment that I wrote for Jason versus Michael Myers.
Oh, you told me about this before.
Jason versus...
That you wrote this treatment. I didn't know that the death was from it.
Yeah, it was called Jason versus Michael. I wrote out the entire treatment. I was going to write the script. And I was thinking even then, back in 2000, that I was going to make this film.
You were going to make Jason versus Michael Myers.
Yes, a fan
Dope.
film. I was going to make a fan film way back then.
Yeah.
And
Advent of the internet.
And in that particular scene where I use the ribeye, Michael breaks off Jason's rib and jams it into Jason's missing eye socket.
Yeah.
hole.
That's the right side, I think.
Yeah. So he was going to do that. And it's funny, that scene took place on a dock at Crystal Lake. And it's the finale. It's the climax.
Which is
of
the ending to the actual Freddy vs. Jason
Which
movie.
is the actual...
Yeah.
So when I saw Freddy vs. Jason 3 years later...
Motherfucker stole my idea!
Yeah, no, it wasn't like that. But I was just like...
Great minds think alike. Guess I'm never making that movie.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, well, threw out that whole idea. But by the time Freddy vs. Jason came out, I lost.
It was like 2005-ish, 4?
Yeah, I lost interest in the Jason versus Michael.
Would you ever go back to it and make that movie?
No.
No? Why?
No.
Too involved?
I'm fine with what I did with Victim No More, and I did get the bug again
To make another movie?
To make another movie.
You're still sort of taking this one around. You did a couple cons, right?
I did a couple conventions, a few screening events.
Okay.
I'll probably do a lot more next year and continue promoting it.
Okay.
When we get to 100,000 views on YouTube, I will start writing the sequel.
Which I will be in. As a different character.
You survived.
No, I'll be somebody else. That guy's dead. That guy's dead. I want to play a character.
We'll figure that out when the time comes.
But you are thinking about making a sequel.
2 sequels.
So you want to do like a little trilogy.
A trilogy.
Ah.
And then that'll be it for Friday the 13th as far as I go.
And then what are you going to do? Like fucking Leatherface after
No,
this?
I'll do an original film. If I...
It's called Space Ninja.
Space Ninja, the movie.
Would you...
starring...
Is there any other...
Joe.
Please. I'll do Z-list films. I don't give a fuck. Bobby Heckman can be my Tarantino.
I think you and Deanna I'll probably use forever.
She was... I will say, like... And I said
Deanna will definitely be in everything I do.
She's your little nod to... She's your muse cinema thing.
She's great. I just think she could do anything.
She's a very good actress. I had a great time working with her. So often than not, you go on the set and you're like, because you have a job to do very quickly, and you want to make sure that you're, if you're going in like, I got to get these lines down, I got to do this, because I know how, losing daylight, all that shit. So you have one job: go up there, say your line, stand in the spot they tell you, and fucking go. You know what I mean? And sometimes you get a scene partner that's not in the same level, wavelength, and doesn't realize that this is like a machine that has got to keep moving, and it will leave you behind. And she just realized that. She knew all her lines in there. She was a joy to talk to, because I basically just talked to her for all the first day.
Yeah.
Got to know her, and I'm like, all right, you're
so
not...
that worked out for the
just
best.
Happy
then.
she wasn't a bitch.
Not shooting that day for you worked out for you.
Yeah, no, she's talented. She's very good actress. Check her out in the movie. She's got great stuff.
You, Deanna, and Hans also.
Hans.
Like the three of you just showed up prepared and knew what you were gonna do. So
it sounds so stupid for me to say this out loud, but I have like done enough stuff at this point where I'm like, I know what I'm supposed to do. Like I'm supposed to show up. I'm supposed to show up on time. And I'm the guy who's late to everything, but I will fucking show up on time to a set, because I just know it. People don't realize it holds everything up. Like it holds everything, especially on these small indie, low budget productions. Man, like you need the day. You like people go in the. I know people go in there prepared to be like, I know it's not going to go smoothly, but it's just like even so, like it's just.
Oh yeah, I mean the worst. The day I thought was going to be the worst, with people showing up late or whatever, like all kinds of.
Was
problems.
when we were out at the cabins?
No, out by your house in Sag Harbor. In
that
those
day
woods. There was 30 people involved.
Yeah. We shot
cast and crew.
We shot the big finale at my house.
We had a trailer parked in your driveway. Because the woods that we used were right next door to your family's house.
Yeah. And I told you, I said, I can't host it because we're like, we put people in your house. I'm like, no. But
yeah.
You were like, what about an
everybody
RV?
clogging up
like,
the
RV's
bathroom,
fine, man. Get the RV.
But we had like 30 people involved. It was early in the morning to around 5:30.
And we had our great celebrity cameo in it. She was there. We haven't even talked about her yet.
No, we could talk about her.
Go ahead.
Catherine Mary Stewart was there.
Who, if you don't know,
Weekend at Bernie's.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Night of the Comet,
Yes.
Last Starfighter.
That's right, Last Starfighter. Very sweet lady.
50 other great movies.
Yeah, 50 other awesome. She's my best friend now. It's fine.
Yeah. She is amazing.
She's very sweet. She was very nice.
She was a mentor on set for me.
She directed some stuff too, right?
She directed a few scenes in the film. She was second unit director, but also like was kind of like shadow co-directing.
Yeah, I saw her
with
like
a couple, like when we were at the cabins. Like she threw out some suggestions, and all those suggestions. Most of those suggestions are in the movie.
She's definitely probably one of those people that's been doing this she's just been
doing
around
it for over 40
filmmaking
years.
for so long. She's probably just picked stuff up from people.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, she wants to direct. That's her.
Oh, she
right
should
now.
totally direct something.
Totally.
I would watch that shit.
I saw. She sent me the short film that she did. It's about 9.5 minutes long or something, and it was really well done.
Yeah.
I really liked it. It was
cool.
a short drama.
Ah.
It was really cool.
Not enough slug corpses for my taste, but whatever. No, I'm sure it's very cool. And it's really cool that you got her in it. Why her of all people? I think that's awesome.
Because I'm friends with her.
Have you always just been friends with her?
No, we met.
That's really cool.
No, all the cameos that are in the movie, whether it's on screen or voiceover.
Who else did you get? I wasn't there for some of the other stuff.
Jill Whitlow.
Joe Whitlow
From Night of the Creeps.
From Night of the Creeps.
She plays the therapist in the movie.
Yes.
She's great. And she's basically playing the same character from Night of the Creeps. It's just,
Reversed. Not reversed.
30-something
30 years later, yeah.
And the two voiceovers are two final girls from the Friday the 13th movies. I won't spoil that.
Check this movie out.
Check this movie out. Watch it to the very end, and you'll hear some familiar voices in the movie. But
absolutely.
they are final, survivors from past Friday the 13th films.
It definitely.
And I'm just friends with all four of these women.
Just from going to cons and being a fan?
I met them all at conventions.
Please don't say it's from staying outside their house and just watching them.
I met them at conventions, but I just really hit it off with them.
You're a very nice guy, Bobby. Like, you're really just an easy dude to talk to.
Yeah, we just hit it off and just became friends throughout the years and became closer. And I consider them like really dear friends.
That's neat, man.
I prefer to hang out with them outside of conventions.
Oh, of
even
course.
More. But I do enjoy seeing like fan reactions to them.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they're overwhelmed by it because they they don't see themselves as that.
I think my mother said something to her when she was at my house because she fucking loves Weekend at Bernie's. Like
Catherine Mary Stewart.
I think she may like nothing bad, but I was just like, that is right. Like she's like, yes, girlfriend from Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, Jonathan Silverman's girl.
Yeah.
She's super. They're all super down to earth, sweet, awesome.
Well, it's cool that you got them.
Extremely intelligent and funny. They're hilarious.
She was very nice to us.
When I get together with any of them, especially Kathy, we just laugh and goof around. Act like a couple of teenagers.
Well, it's cool that you and your celebrity friends get to hang out.
Yeah. Well, you're my celebrity friend.
I'm not a celebrity. I'm fucking never. I'm your celebrity. Why am I your celebrity friend?
I don't know.
I'll drill. This is my interview show. I'm gonna dig deep.
Come on, you were in.
I was in Cooligans.
You were in Men in Black 3.
I was in Men in Black 3. I did do background work in Men in Black 3.
Yeah, you were the giant alien.
Yeah,
guy.
my eyes blink digitally. But I'm right next to Will Smith.
There you go.
He slapped the shit out of me after the tape. No,
of course he did. I knew that.
I mean, so you got her to be in the movie. You got all these. So when you started to take it on the cons, how was it received? I mean, I never even asked you how. Like,
I only done one con.
You only
so
screened
far.
it at one.
Screened it at one so far and promoted at it. And this weekend I'll be promoting it at a drive-in event.
At where's that?
In Pennsylvania, Newville. It's
Okay.
the name of the town where the drive-in is.
If I have some listeners in Newville or in the Pennsylvania area, come check out Bobby's movie. It's a double feature.
Wait, are you putting this up tonight?
No, it's going on Tuesday.
Oh, then it'll be over by then.
Never mind.
Never mind.
Never mind.
It'll be on Saturday.
But you can always go on YouTube and check
22nd.
out Bobby's movie.
Go on YouTube. Victim No More.
I'm not wrapping up yet. I'm just saying.
No, I know.
Plug the movie. Let them know how can everybody watch
You
it.
can see it on YouTube, Victim No More. You could also see it on our website, victimnomorefilm.com.
Do you have shirts and shit on there they can buy?
You could also see on Vimeo if you're part of Vimeo and have your own independent movie up there or something.
Do you have merch on there? Because you have some good swag.
Next month, I'm hoping we get the merch up there.
Okay.
We're kind of waiting till it's on Blu-ray.
I understand.
And then we'll put the Blu-ray and T-shirts, beanies, pins, all that stuff.
And with the Blu-ray, you'll get like interviews and shit and behind-the-scenes stuff. I saw some. You showed me some stuff the other day.
There's some interviews. There'll be bloopers, outtakes.
That's so cool. You're gonna have a Bluray.
I know.
I'm so easily amazed by things. I'm like, if I.
No, I know, and I mean because I'm, what do you call that?
I don't know. This is when Indiana Jones tried to take the thing. What do you do? Don't touch the mic. Just kidding.
I am a what do you call it when you collect
a magician?
DVDs and books and shit.
A pack rat?
No.
Loser?
I'm a collector, but
a loser like me?
it's on the tip of my tongue. No.
No. You do have a lot of movies. I don't know. Chris, you want to help me out here?
Physical media.
I'm a physical media guy.
Physical media collector.
I think people are coming back around to physical media.
So I'm
you're
a
ahead of
physical media, and I love features on Blu-rays and DVDs and stuff
I
like
do
that.
too. I
So
love director's commentaries
and 4K
and shit.
and like I love seeing like remember back in the day when DVDs first came out, they had like motion menus, like they'll show you clips from the movie that you're watching.
Yeah, dude.
Like now it's just like a picture and you push play.
Yeah, there used to be
and like special features.
my Ghostbusters DVD when they first released Ghostbusters on DVD. It was the city. And you could see ghosts flying around the top of the city, and the Marshmallow Man would walk through the city, and you'd be like scenes, and that's probably one of my favorite director's commentaries ever. Actually,
yes,
Reitman in that.
And you click on like you could find Easter eggs, and you click on
Yeah,
that.
it was
and
like
they'll
they used
show
to be
you deleted scenes and stuff. It was so much fun when
you used to look forward to the DVD coming out because you were like, oh, there might be because there would be like an unrated version or director's cut, which was a lot more common back then than it is now. Like, but like you'll see like a different ending or something like that, and then I always watched the featurettes on them and everything that just interviewed everybody talking about the movie and everything, and I think that shit's cool.
It's great,
know?
And I love that stuff. I love behind the scenes stuff. So we will have a behind the scenes documentary on there. We'll have bloopers. We'll have outtakes.
Are you going to do a commentary?
Me and Sean already did a commentary.
Oh, you did?
We did the commentary. So we'll have like 6 or 7 features plus like little Easter eggs.
So it's sort of a throwback to how like how DVDs sort
how
of like
were.
how were.
So physical media lovers.
VHS is dead finally.
Yeah. Physical media lovers, you'll want it.
So this whole thing is such a the whole movie you made is such a throwback in general. Like even the way you release it, but it doesn't feel like sometimes people try to punch you in the face with nostalgia. I don't feel like you're doing that.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of like I love I love a lot of the fan films that are out right now.
There's some bad ones out there though.
Yeah, well,
not going to name any names.
No, but
I'll say it after he leaves.
Hey, there's good and bad even in its own franchise.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
so
I love them all.
Yeah,
but Jason X is not a work of art.
No.
Neither is Jason Goes to Hell for that matter, but I like that concept.
Or Jason Takes Manhattan. But,
but Jason Takes a Boat Trip is more like it. Yeah. For the horror fans out there.
But there's people that absolutely love those movies because those were the first movies they saw. So they have their own nostalgic attachment to those.
Yeah, I think you can still love something and you can admit that it's bad.
Yeah, I'll watch all of them every year.
Yeah, like
even the ones that I'm not crazy about.
Like if someone asked me, it's like, what's a better movie, Jason Takes Manhattan or Shawshank Redemption? I'm like, Shawshank Redemption. Are you kidding me? It's a better film, like just a better movie. Like, it's a better
overall.
Movie.
Yeah.
Overall, better
But
film.
which one will you watch more?
It's hard to watch. I can't watch Shawshank 2 times in a row. It's a lot. It's a lot to get through, man.
Yeah.
If anybody's like my buddy Lou's, like, I watched Shawshank twice today, and I'm like, are you okay?
Get busy dying.
Yeah, but like I'll watch Jason Takes Manhattan 300 times in a row, and I'll laugh at it. You know, because there's an enjoyment to it. There's a tongue-in-cheekness about those films. 7 too, and a lot of those horror films. You know, there's films from an era that era in general that I'm like, they're not good movies, but I love them.
But it has rewatchability, especially if you're with a group of friends.
There's charm. It's usually there's a charm to it.
You can laugh at stuff with a group of friends.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You can't watch Shawshank Redemption with a group of friends.
It depends on the friends you have, but like, I have a couple of friends that I could
come over. We'll cry together and enjoy it. At the end.
Enjoy a beautiful film.
Yeah, we'll enjoy a beautiful film together.
It's like I'm gonna come over and watch The Green Mile. It's like that's the Stephen King film we're watching tonight. Like,
yeah, like,
but I think that there's a charm to movies like that, and the charm to Friday the 13th was it was just unabashedly Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
And like you watched it because it was ridiculous because people wanted to see, you know, Jason in Manhattan. That was when you when you sequelized the movie, you were like, you either have to go to space, you have to go to the Arctic, or you gotta go to Manhattan. In fact, I think they're actually doing that with the next Scream. They're actually, I'm like, if it's not Scream Takes Manhattan, I'll be pissed. It should be the same poster. It should be the poster. They should just rip off the fucking Jason Takes Manhattan poster where he's over the city.
I think the Scream movies should get into like what happened with Jason. Like he died, came back to life. Like,
it's never been one person.
I know, and it's always some random stupid reason too of why they. Like why they're gonna go after Sydney or something.
The first one, it was
have like the original guy come back to life. Like have it be
Billy. Did you see the last one? They kind of did that.
Have it be Billy. Did they do it? I didn't watch the last one.
He's like in. Is
it Billy?
You have to. Well, this just goes back to what we were talking
Billy's
about.
Kid.
No. Well, yeah. It's you have to watch the movie, but like it's this whole thing going back to how does trauma in horror movies, or how they're like, this is another movie that does like how does trauma affect a generation.
Okay,
they kind of do that in the new Scream movie, which I'll watch. Scream, I grew up watching Scream.
Yeah,
there's another one too, but that's the one where it's like they should do something where like the mask is like,
I want Zombie Billy.
No, I think they should do something where like,
can we do Zombie Skeet Ulrich?
I always wanted to do something. Is he dead? Is Skeet Ulrich dead?
No, he's not.
He just knew. He's like, no. I'm a big fan. I follow his Twitter.
I looked it up when I watched Scream.
Oh shit. But I wanted to do something where like I always had this cool concept where I wanted to make a Jason movie where like the mask is like fucking possessed by the spirit of Jason, whoever wears it, and they kind of did that in Jason Goes to Hell. But I always thought that was a cool idea. You could do that with Scream,
right?
Like you have the ghost face mask.
Yeah.
And then, like, when you put it on, it fucking, I don't know, transforms you into fucking Billy from the original, and he just...
Yeah, it seems like the
Go nuts! You have to jump the shark at one point in these movies.
The new Halloween movies were trying to... Like, it wasn't really like they were turning...
Well, they were trying to do the part 6
But the people
shit.
that put on the Michael mask, they were trying to, like with the Doctor in the 2018 one and the new kid in the new one, like... It seems like they want to try to see what it's like looking through those eyes or something, like, you know.
What's the wearing his skin? I want to know what it's like, but it's I guess, yeah. I mean,
like will that evil become part of me
Well, that's
if I do that.
That was an
you know?
interesting. I always thought that part 6 with Halloween is probably the most interesting plot wise. They really fucking swung for the fences on like he's got a mark from some sort of astral plane.
Yeah. The ancient druids and the thorn.
Yeah, the whole mark of Cain or some shit like that, or mark of
The
thorn.
curse of thorn, yeah.
So, and I know they kind of were like, because the guy had the cut in his hand in Halloween Ends, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna do the thing.
No.
No.
I don't think they would ever
They
touch
alluded to it.
because so many people hated that. I don't think they would go back to
Everybody hated that. Everybody always hates me and try to
I didn't,
explain.
but a lot
I
of
don't know.
people
I don't. I like when people like we were talking about this earlier. If you're
that. It
gonna,
was cool that they were doing something. They were trying to
people
do
don't
a
like
whole,
people don't like
oh,
when you
this
do
is
something different.
There's a reason why he's trying to kill off the bloodline.
People don't like when you
no,
do
they don't
something
want
different.
to explain. I think I can take it either way. It's like a mystery and no explanation at all is creepy and awesome.
That's sort
I
of
like
yeah.
it that way, but I also like
And there's always
in
been,
this timeline they're trying to like give a reason for it. Like I
yeah, because you can always go back and watch the other movies.
because then it's like, oh, like Halloween 4 I love. I think
Halloween
it's
4.
great.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, why is he going after the niece? There's no reason, like why?
Yeah.
Like, and again, part of it is like it's cool
Yeah.
because it's a mystery. We don't know.
You have to
why.
give them credit because they were clearly being
But then
like.
there's another reason why it's like, well,
Yeah.
why?
Well, they were giving credit because they were clearly at one point they were like, we're going to do 4, 5, and 6. We're going to do this long story. We're going to explain them in 3 movies because they had just brought him back after the Halloween 3. They're like Halloween 4, the return of Michael Myers, and they were like trying to set up this story. And then like because in 5 especially is the whole thing with the Man in Black, and then he escapes and everything
Yeah.
like that. And then, like, when you get to 6, you're like, what happened? Like, this girl gets killed in the first 5 seconds.
Yeah, the Man in Black is explained. And,
In like the most ridiculous way possible. It was so intriguing.
well, that's what I mean.
Supposedly, if you watch the producer, I'm sorry, guys. I
you
know
watched the
we've done
producer's
two
cut?
fucking heavy. I'm sorry, I have to talk to my people. Like, I know we've
Talk
done
to your
2
people.
heavy cinema episodes, but this is
Sorry.
Just, Keith was supposed to be on last week. He bailed because he had a scheduling conflict. It's fine, but we're going hard
talking
into the horror
all
stuff.
Friday and Halloween episode for October.
Well, we really got a couple more minutes left. So, but
Top 3 Friday 13th? Go.
4, 6, and I really like Jason Goes to Hell.
All right, cool, man.
It's so dumb.
4, 6, and 2 for me.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
With
It's
Jason
so
Goes to Hell?
it's so dumb, but it's shot in a way where I'm like, God, this is cool. The gore in it is crazy.
It's the most gore.
It's
in
the
a Friday
most
13th
ridiculous,
movie.
and it's
Most ridiculous
It's
gore.
different. It's
Especially
different.
the unrated version.
And I have that. Actually, I saw it when I was at your place a couple days ago. I saw you had the VHS with like the fucking bumpy cover, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's the one I had. That was the first thing I ever
Yeah.
ordered from Amazon.
Yeah.
I was like, I want this movie, and I
What
was like,
DVDs did I wind up giving you?
I got the Porky's trilogy
Yeah, I gave you the Porky's.
because I like fucking horrible movies from the 80s.
And Joe Willow's in the first Porky's.
Yes, it's also directed by Bob Clark. Secretly,
So maybe in the sequel, when I do Victim No More 2, I'll have Jill Whitlow return as the character from Porky's. That she's in one scene and she goes, "Why do they call you me?"
Yeah. God, those movies.
That's it.
One day, next time,
I'll just have her say that line again.
in the summer, maybe I'll have you on and we can talk about 80s
Porky's.
80s sex comedies or some shit like that.
Revenge of the Nerds, Police Academies. I'll talk
Summer
about
Break.
those, Spring Break. Yeah.
Yeah, the Spring Breakers. Is that the one with the old
Summer
guys that
School.
go to the fucking beach and try to get laid?
Yeah, that's Spring. No, Hard Bodies.
Hard Bodies. What's the one with Johnny Depp?
Oh, Private Resort.
Private Resort.
Or yeah. Private
Yeah, well,
Resort.
in the summer I'll come. You can wear sunglasses the whole time. We'll put a green screen. And we'll talk about
Hawaiian shirt.
80s because they always take place in the summer.
Summer School is one of the best.
Oh, with Hoop.
One Crazy Summer.
Yeah. We could name these all, but I'm gonna wrap up.
What's your wrap?
But no. Let's please go and check out Bobby's movie. Not just because I'm in it. Bobby made a really cool movie. If you like horror, if you like Friday the 13th,
And because he's in it.
yeah, we want those likes. And if you have seen the movie and you've seen me and you're like, I kind of like that guy, subscribe to my fucking podcast.
Yeah.
Subscribe to my podcast.
Millennial Stoner.
Millennial Stoner. We're on Spotify and all that stuff. But Bobby's movie, victimnomore.com.
Victim No More film.com.
Victimnomorefilm.com.
Yes.
And then on YouTube, Google
YouTube, Vimeo,
Victim-
and the website.
just
You
search.
could find us on Facebook and Instagram. I don't use Twitter because I just don't like it. But Instagram and Facebook.
Point of pride. I like it.
That's it.
Instagram and Facebook. Awesome. All right, Guy. Thanks for coming down, man.
Thanks,
Did you have
man.
fun?
I always have fun.
I try to do. I've been a little
I
more
have
laid
fun
back.
wherever I go.
I'm trying to be laid back and everything, and I was trying to like really interview you and everything. We went off on a few tangents, but I felt like you got to describe your movie well.
I think so.
You think?
So I think we could have gone deeper.
No.
I'll come
I don't
back.
have time.
I'll come back next
You
week.
can come back. I'll totally have you back. I'll have you back every Halloween and every summer. We'll do. I need
every October. Let's do this.
Sure. I need movie guys. So I know I did 2 movie episodes in a row, but
What was the last one?
I just had my friend Andy on. We just ended up talking about film.
Okay, you got to get Dave Campfield on here.
Dave will be on here when
about
he's done with his movie. I'm filming that with him currently. It's going to be good. He got some great stuff. It's going to be a long, arduous shoot. It was not easy. I won't talk about it here. Once the movie's out, I'll delve all the stories and everything. But there was we've had making movies ain't easy, man. So.
No, but I mean, last summer was a challenge, definitely, to get this movie done.
Well, I'm glad you got it done.
But after it was all done, I was like, even with the trials and tribulations and struggles, and I would do it again, and I want to do it again.
That's good. Hopefully you will.
So-
Put me in the movie. Anyway. All right, guys. If you haven't already, subscribe to the page on either Spotify or YouTube or both. Man, get a double fisting of me. I don't care. Get a double fisting of Millennial Stoner, just in case you don't want to watch on the car on YouTube. You can put it on Spotify. All right. We're also on Stitcher. Subscribe. Check us out. Share it with your friends. We've got some stuff coming up soon, hopefully before the end of the year. Some other cool guests and everything, and hopefully some cool content. I'm still working on stuff. It's so hard to do content. So no guarantees, but I'm trying. Bobby, thank you for coming out. No, they can't see that. Don't worry.
They can't see us shake
I'll
hands.
shake your hand.
Oh,
thanks for coming in,
man.
man. I appreciate you.
Thank you
dude.
for having me.
I'll definitely have you back. Maybe I'll have you back actually in Christmas. We can talk about Christmas movies.
Oh,
I love Christmas
that's a good
movies.
idea. All right,
There's some good ones, all right?
There's a lot of Christmas.
There's a lot of good ones out there.
Don't wait. So we're gonna skip the only great Thanksgiving movie, Planes,
Good
Trains,
night,
and
everybody.
Automobiles.
No, you can't. Thanks for coming, Bobby.
Bye.
I'm done.